All right. So in the next 20 minutes or so, I am going to try my level best to show you how I sell the sizzle. We've all had products in our lives. We've all had services in our lives. We've all had people that we approached, places that we went to find those things. Everything we purchase, everything that we spend money on speaks to some challenge that we have, some pain point, some pleasure point that we want to satisfy. Now, the first thing you need to know about sales, be it brick and mortar, be it online, it is about people. You can pretty much sell anything if you are the right person selling to the right person. I want to try and explain my process to you today in such a way that perhaps, well, let's not make me redundant. That would be a little counterintuitive, but I would like to give you a glimpse into my world. So I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation that I've put together that I hope will illuminate that which I am conveying. So if you will bear with me, right. I beg your pardon. How did this thing so many years ago and fine? Yes. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is me, Will Scott Media. Professionally speaking, this is the professional title under which I operate. Today, I'm just going to move this anything along. All right, here we are. This is my first time actually using this particular function. There we go. Okay. So with anything else in life, there is a process. And the process is this. In order to sell, in order to convert, as we in the industry say, you need to start with a good foundation. I want to try today and explain to you how the process works, but also drill down a little in terms of how you get that foundation in place. It all starts with the perfect avatar. Now, that is jargon. I understand this. And for those of you who don't know what this means, an avatar simply represents the person that you consider your perfect client, your perfect customer. What is it that you do? What is it that you sell? What does that particular service or product speak to? How is that going to offer value to another person? How is it going to make their lives better? At the end of the day, that is what all sales comes down to, making your life better as a consumer. So what do I mean when I say find the perfect avatar? Online can be a very competitive place. I'm sure that many of you would know this. It means that you need to be clever about how you go about selling products or services. For example, who? This is the question you need to ask yourself. Who is your best client? Who is your best customer? Which customer that do you have that keeps coming back? And what do they purchase? That you can take as information, and you can then translate it into a marketing strategy to get those conversions, but to sell to the right person first time. Now you have to then find a message, and you need to put this message to them. And the formula goes something like this. What am I selling to you? What pain point, what pleasure point am I satisfying? What problem do you have that I need to solve? So for example, let's say that you want to get slim and trim. I'm not going to then sell you pet food. That is not your desire. That is not your need. You want to become slim and trim. Therefore, my product or my service needs to speak to that desire. But not only that, because you don't want to have to spend hours, weeks, days, months invested in something which you can solve instantly or within a short period of time, relatively speaking. Now, you can go and do 100 push-ups every day for 6 months till you're blue in the face. I guarantee you, you will see results. But what if I can offer you a better way, a simpler way, a much less painful way? So, for example, if I were to offer you the 3 ideal exercises for getting a flat tummy, then I would say, are you tired of doing it the hard way? Are you tired of spending hours, days, weeks, months in gyms? I am offering you 3 exercise routines that you can do for an hour a day. Invest that in yourself and you will see results. Here's how. At which point I invite you to either find out more or click. And I take you to what's known as a funnel. You've already entered my funnel, you just don't know it yet. Our Toastmaster spoke quite eloquently about homepages, landing pages, such things. But there is a difference to a ClickFunnels website and your website that you might perhaps have gotten used to seeing for the last 30 odd years. You see, the original thinking was this: your website would be your identity online. People would find you there and then, as a matter of, by the way, find out what it was that you were selling. Now, that is no longer the process that one follows. And I'll tell you why. People, generally speaking, are lazy. Sad to say, yes, it is true. If you cannot satisfy someone's curiosity about that which you do in 2 to 3 clicks, then you've lost the fight. And what a ClickFunnels landing page does for you, it is something that gives a potential client or customer the opportunity to find that which will satisfy their need. Simple, plain and simple. That is it. But it comes at a cost, both to you as well as to your clients. The first thing you want to do is get their details, right? So we are building trust. Bearing in mind that none of these people have ever heard of you before. None of these people know what it is you do, what your background is, where you come from, how many years you've invested in this process. No one cares. The only thing they care about is satisfying that need, getting rid of the pain point or tickling that pleasure point. So you ask them for an email address and you give them something of value, an ebook perhaps, a short video, something which they can take and use and find value in. At which point you take them to the next step, which is to say, congratulate them on their most clever decision to take on you, your service, your product, and invest that into their lives. Now, it sounds a bit patronizing the way I said it, but think about it. Is that not what you would want? Someone congratulating you for doing something quite simple, yet making you feel special. There's a psychology behind this, folks. There's your message right there. And from there, you build on. You get better products, better services. You present it to your client, a low cost product first, a bigger cost product next. And eventually, you would get them on board on a subscription or some kind of a basis whereby they keep coming back to you. That, in a nutshell, is how ClickFunnels work. But I can't give you a keynote presentation on just the basics. As you can see by the slide, it is a simple process that one follows. It's not rocket science, but this has been thought through, and there are reasons why one does this. So let's get back to the beginning, shall we? Finding that avatar. Why do people do what they do? It's psychology, basic psychology. We are, after all, as Abraham Maslow once put it, basically governed by a hierarchy of needs. The higher up there we go, the more specific those needs become. When your client finds you, you need to convey to that client what it is you do, but in such a way that they buy into you first and foremost. People buy from people. Yes, we get stuff, we get services, we get things done, but there is a face, there is a voice, there is a personality behind who you are professionally speaking. So convey your passions. Solve your clients' problems for them. You need to tell them that this is worth it for you. It's worth it to you to invest a little bit of time, perhaps a little bit of money, but that this eventually will make life better for you. Have that presence of mind to say to this person, here's how I am going to do it for you. People love having things done for them. I mean, we know that, right? Otherwise, McDonald's, the biggest property chain on earth, who happens to sell hamburgers, wouldn't exist. Again, the simple process, the simple principle. Give them what they want, and in return, you will get what you want. It's an exchange of value. But it is first and foremost, as I've said, a building of trust. You see that McDonald's logo, you see that Apple logo, you see that Coca-Cola logo, and you have an expectation. You know what you're going to get. And more often than not, it makes you excited. Okay? So you have to write these things down. It's not as simple as just going, oh, well, I'm going to sell to Manoj today because I think Manoj would do well to have a kitchen scale. I don't know if Manoj cooks or not. I haven't asked him. Why wouldn't I? I might ask Harlina, wouldn't it be cool if I sold you a meat thermometer? I don't know if Harlina is vegetarian. I haven't asked her. Do you see where I'm going with this? There is a certain methodology that one must follow. You need to get in touch with who it is you are selling to. And the who could be a man, could be a woman, could be both. You need to figure out what the age group is, where in the world you might find them. Because it's not as simple as just selling to 8 billion people. Unless you've got a bank account that King Midas would be envious of, it will cost you simply too much. Right. So at the end of the day, do your homework. Find out who that person is. And it might be as simple as giving out a few samples for people to try. Or thinking in terms of who are the brands that that person follows? Who are the influencers that that person listens to? What are the products that they buy already? How can my product, my service, which is to say your product, your service, improve on what they know, what they've experienced? Then apply that, and you will find that you will come to a reasonable sized audience. At which point you can then say, okay, I've got 2 million people in the United States of America who I have now ascertained are fans of Nike or ASICS as brands, who follow Joe Blogs as a expert in training, physical training or physical exercise. They might be into sports. They might enjoy running. They might enjoy tennis. They might enjoy golf. This is to say, this process is not haphazard. And now, once you've gone that far, you will then say to yourself, okay, I know who I want to market to. I am going to take the plunge because I have done my homework. Folks, you have got to be very studious about this, because otherwise it becomes very expensive very quickly. So take a moment and write it all down. And I know this sounds pedantic, but unless you have this down, unless you have your foundation, your house of cards will come tumbling down. I promise you. As I've said, it is not rocket science, but it is a science. You can write down as your potential customer your own pain points, your own pleasure points. Because I can tell you now, if something works for you, chances are it may work for someone else. And that's a good place to start. No, you're not being presumptuous. You are also a human, and you are also a consumer. Therefore, start with you. But don't end there. Ask your friends, ask your family, ask people that you meet. Hey, I have a business and I do this and I sell that. I offer this service. Tell me, Would you make use of that? How would you make it better? That kind of information is gold, because it helps you refine, it helps you improve. And at the end of the day, we all do want to do that, improve, both as professionals, both as people. Find out the core currencies. Now, currency doesn't need to refer to money. So let's say, going back to the weight loss program that we are now selling, that a lady of 25 to 35 wants to get that bikini body ready for the beach for summer. She needs to lose 30 pounds. She's got a month and a half to 2 months to do it. Speak to that, and speak to that directly. Ask yourself, how many hours can she invest? How many hours would she want to invest? How many hours would make it an attractive proposition? Work on those pain points, work on those pleasure points. Say to yourself, if this was me, what would I want? And then again, write them down. So your currency might be weight loss. Your currency might be lack of effort needed. Write them down. Right there, you have got your missive, you have got your mission, and you're on your way. You write down what it is that you speak to, you write down what it is you will do, and you offer someone a solution. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your foundation. So when you have your foundation in place, then after that, you can move to your next step. Your profit pyramids, your signature solutions, your unique selling points, your products that you are going to develop, and your services that you are going to offer. But you need first and foremost to lay the foundation. So ladies and gentlemen, I offer you this. This is just a taste of what I do, but it is a process. I've spent about 11 years of my life making myself au fait with this that I'm telling you today. It works. It works for me, and it can work for you. I hand back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you see, it's the basics. It's a lot of work, but we cannot do it if we cannot build a house without foundation, isn't it? And especially if it works for yourself, pleasure and the pain, how to deal with it, it can also work for others. I still have to think about that meat thermometer. Yeah, does it work for me or not? Yeah. Okay, so now we have come to the end of the prepared speech session, and I would like to ask the timer, Suchen, please, what about the time?
Okay, Alex took 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Manjo took 7 minutes 30 seconds. Will took 22 minutes and 22 seconds. Back to you.
Thank you very much. So everybody is still within time frame. Okay, good, great. And now we have come to the end of the prepared speech session, and then we will move to the table topic session before we will have a break. And the table topic master was supposed to be Ayapa. Therefore, I'm very grateful that Eric was gallant enough to all of a sudden fill in the spot that was left by the previous table topic masters. So thank you very much, Eric. And let's hear how Eric can test our fast thinking skills. Please welcome Eric.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the most exciting sessions that I'm going to conduct today, which is the table topics. It's the first time for me to do it in this club. Believe me, it will be more exciting. I don't know how to ask questions. What I know is how to speak. So, but today I'm going to learn how to ask questions. I'll be your table topics monster. Sorry, not monster, but your table topics master. And I'll be there to make sure that we learn as we go. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to pose a question, and then I will choose someone to respond to the question. So I will not go for someone first. I will first ask the question and then look for someone, because I want to give you about 30 seconds so that you can think about it. Anybody can think about it. And then when I'm done, when you are done answering the question, then there will be an evaluator who will evaluate you for 1 minute. So you will speak for 2 minutes, the evaluator will evaluate for 1 minute, and then I will go to the next. So that might take me about 15 minutes for about 4 speakers. So ladies and gentlemen, let the master begin. We are in the digital world, and our theme is let's go digital. Will Scott have really conscientized us and made us aware about the digital world, especially from this different perspective, including ClickFunnels. Talking about ClickFunnels, and if you have listened to him, I'm going to ask you, what is a ClickFunnels? What is a ClickFunnels? Let me, before I ask someone, I will ask Alan to be the evaluator, not the speaker. I can see you are scared, but be the evaluator of the speaker. And our speaker will be Shyamraj.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Did you ask me what a ClickFunnels is?
Yes.
Okay. I've been into this digital world of training for the last 1 year or two. And ever since we started, we see that even the finest speaker is not listened to by the audience. On the screen, we understand that the lifespan of a speech is only 1.5 minutes. More than that is too much for any listener. So I see the funnel as a route, as a shortcut for people to ensure that people come, sit even for an hour to listen to you. As I stated earlier, when you say the top 3 secrets, that becomes a pleasure point for someone. Easy ways to eradicate something, that's a pleasure point. When you say, are you suffering from something? Now you touch the pain point. Only when you tell him that here is something important, particularly for you, he starts lending ears to you. He is ready to spare more than 1.5 minutes to listen to you. Now, I would call a funnel to be one such element. If you can trap those people and bring them into your area, that is what you call a funnel. In fact, even in an in-person meeting, one of the psychologists told me that you cannot put any person onto the chair listening to you for more than their age plus 3 minutes. Do you get that? Someone is 20 years old, you cannot make him sit for more than 23 minutes. Someone is 30 years old, he would not sit for you for more than 33 minutes. But now, when the funnel is set properly, when the purpose is given properly, a person would land up spending more than 8 hours listening to you because you are serving him directly. This is what I understand from what you called a funnel. Thank you so much. Back to you, DTM Eric Kyler.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What a way to answer it. That's beautiful. Let's go to Alan. Let's hear your evaluation.
Thank you, Eric. And of course, thank you to Shyamraj for the table topics. I like how you answer the questions in 3 different parts. Number one, you started off by telling us why you are credible to talk about this topic. It's not just who am I I have been doing this for past years, but giving us a proof that you know what you're talking about by telling us that 1.5 minutes is the most important time frame to take note of. Number two, you tell us how to do it, which is understanding the pleasure and the pain point. And number three, you talk about what it is. This is the funnel that I'm talking about. So I like you going by this format of why, how, and what. But the best thing about it was not just only what, which is the funnel, you further elaborate what we can do to enhance it. So using a technique of understanding H plus 3 minutes, which is introducing something new coming in and further telling us that this is my understanding of it and why I'm credible to talk about this particular topic. I think in that 2 minutes, you show us you're very skilled in terms of understanding how to capture attention. So if I were to say, what is a click funnel? I think looking at you is a click funnel. So you should be the definitions of click funnel. So thank you very much again. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alan. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it. Let's go to the next one. What is an opt-in when it comes to a click funnel? We know our previous speaker had addressed the issue of the lead magnet and the landing page. Those were the things that we really addressed. But I want to opt in. And I'm going to go directly to Manoj. Manoj, you will be our evaluator here for the table topics that will be delivered by Augustinus. Augustinus, what is an opt-in?
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Eric Kaila. Listening to the two topics that you mentioned earlier makes me realize that I need to study more, I need to read more, because none of those topics that you mentioned to me, click funnel and opt-in, I didn't know what it is, to be honest. So every meeting in Toastmasters, I realized that I always learn. In the last 4.5 years, I always learn something, every single meeting. And today's meeting, today's experience makes me believe that I will always learn in every meeting. What is opt-in and click funnel? I really don't know the answer, but thank you for giving me that topic. This topic makes me, how do you call it? Yeah, makes me realize that I need to keep on improving myself every day. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Eric Kaila.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, we must say thank you to Will Scott for bringing up all these things and challenging us to really be there. Let's go to our evaluator, Manoj, please.
Thank you, Eric, and really appreciate your intuition for picking two members who are not aware about this particular subject. If you had picked me as a speaker, I would have said the same thing the speaker had told. So I really appreciate Augustinus. This is the quality of a great leader, saying that what he did not know, and really appreciate August, and really proud to have you as our leader, a leader who continuously learn, who is not from an English-speaking background. Really, you're a motivation and inspiration. I really liked how you approach the topic, be honest, and then from there, it was a message for me as well. We both have to learn a lot of things, and particularly among this high-profile trainers who are well-versed with the digital world. Excellent. You spoke honestly, sincerely, and you concluded also well. I have nothing to say for improvement. Let's keep working together. Let's keep improving. Let's keep learning. That's what I also do. Particularly when I used to be in the first time, I used to keep a notebook I am continuing that practice so that in every meeting we learn many words, many quotes, and it's a nice document when we look back a little later that we have a lot of material even to speak at short term. Thank you so much. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you, Manoj, for a good attempt. You have done very good. Let me go to our third speaker. But before I go to our third speaker, there is a pattern that we have learned here. We have learned about ClickFunnels, which have a landing page, which have a lead magnet, where you attract your people, you bring them to concentrate on your product, and then there is something what we call it opt-in, where the person must put in his email address or telephone number or something which you can have for yourself for future communication. That means you don't lose any customer. The person will be in your what we call in your funnel. That means the person will be inside the funnel. But now here's something special. Here's something. Once the person is inside the funnel, you know, a funnel, if somebody is inside, he can't go back. You must just go down straight to the bank. That is how it works. It goes this way, you fall in. The only way the person will come out of your clause is when you have paid the bank manager, and that means money in your account. That is how simple you should understand it. But that is what we call a low-cost product. Why should we offer a low-cost product? I'm going to ask Alex to be the evaluator of this one. And then I'm going to give it to Will Scott. Will Scott, why a low-cost product? Give me the full process of that low-cost product.
EPM Eric Kyler. The reason you give a low-cost product is twofold. With the funnel, it is all about the building of trust and the adding of value. So you have offered this person something of value for their email address, which they have then gone away and had a look at and applied to their lives and gotten some joy out of, some value. The low-cost product is something then which you subsequently offer them, which is to say, if you like the first thing I gave you, then you will love this. But you still don't charge them an arm and a leg for it. You give it to them at what they might consider a discount or a bargain. Again, you are offering them more than they expected, and you're continuing to build on the trust. At which point they will then have gone away and they would have paid that small amount, and then they would have been introduced to what might be your marquee product or service with the eye on retaining them as a lifelong consumer. So in short, that is how the process works. And if you thought that the email that you have collected right at the beginning of the process was random, just to say that if someone does get stuck in your funnel, maybe they've added something to a cart, maybe they have added or had a look at a page and they've not added something to a cart, you will use that email address to then ask them, it was great to see you, but we see you got stuck. Why is that? Is there perhaps a certain reason? Is there something we can do to make this easier for you? All the while, you are building on the trust. And trust ultimately is the goal that we operate on, because that is what's going to change that person into a lifelong consumer. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.